Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior, and today we're going to be reviewing Marvel Select's Fantastic Four as a group. Now, this was obviously released individually, and actually, it's taken quite a while to finish this entire group. So, I'm going to say this for Marvel Select. If you're interested in getting into this line, expect to wait. If it's a group of characters in a team like Avengers or Fantastic Four. I believe this has taken over 10 years just to finish. They started over the Thing, Human Torch, and then all of a sudden they started finishing off with Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic. But so this is a price range of $29, 29 or $30. $30 for the Thing, and each one is $30. I got him from Amazon for 24, 25. I got him for 30, so luckily. But okay, so we'll start off with the oldest release, which would be the Thing. So this guy is $30. Oh my god, this thing is solid freaking plastic. I kid you not. I think you can kill somebody with this figure. This thing is just solid plastic. And how I would describe this guy is simply a statue with some points of articulation. Okay, and I'm not gonna apologize for anything, but this thing is $29, same price as the other guys, but it's a massive guy. He's beefy. He doesn't come with anything except for this ridiculous thing that's supposed to be a stand. I'm not even gonna showcase it, but let's do with the articulation, right? The head goes about that much, goes down like so, so that's pretty good. The neck is solidly connected to the body, and you can only twist the head, and that's basically it for articulation. The shoulders does have that one connection, but it can only go that high. And sorry, Mr. Fantastic, the arms, that's as straight as can be. Notice this movement. That's all the movement you're gonna get. The wrist has a swivel back and forth, and that's it. Only comes with closed fists, so don't expect swapping the fists out. This one has a slightly better range of movement. It does have a swivel. I think it's got a swivel at the elbow. Let's see. If it does, I can't move it. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. Then the waist has a horizontal swivel, and the waist, the legs is a moving. It's not really a movement up and back and forth. It's mostly like a twist. And then of course the knee. That's it for the movement, and then the ankles. That's it. And it doesn't have any swivel at the ankle because it doesn't even have enough range of movement to do anything. So I'm not gonna apologize for how little this thing moves. It's basically a rock that moves. And that's the thing. The other thing too is like the head feels too small. But he's an ugly guy. He is an ugly guy. But I actually feel like the Hasbro one does a better job at doing it. But he's the Thing. You can't have Fantastic Four without the Thing, right? You can actually have Fantastic Four without Mr. Fantastic. It survived without him before. But not the Thing. You're always gonna need to have the Thing. All right. He's the oldest one of the group. And here is Johnny Storm. This is the Johnny Storm version of the Human Torch, the way I have him displayed right now. I'm saying that because I'll show you later. So notice that he comes with this base. So it's got that base comes like this. You plug it in. So this one has a movement of going back and forth like that. Obviously a twist, and then it just plugs into the back of the guy. Let me pull him out of this whole setup. I don't know if I can capture details of this one because he is translucent. So this is the Johnny Stormer version. You have the Fantastic Four emblem on his chest. Okay. Notice this articulation cut on his hips. So you can, it offers you a wide range of movement, but it's really ugly. And I don't know why or or what makes them choose to switch out the articulation. But this is one of the reasons why I could never get into Marvel Select. Aside from them being 7 inches, I want uniformity in how they choose their articulation because it just breaks it up when you compare this type of an articulation to this type. This is more reminiscent of the DC Universe Classics line, which is an older style type. So let's go ahead with the articulation while we're close up. The head goes up and down with that much of a range. The neck is connected to the body. You can have a side to side tilt, obviously a left to right that goes all the way. The shoulder is hampered by the sculpt of the flames to only go that high. They don't have a bicep cut here. Your rotation is going to come from the elbow, which is only single jointed, and that's where your rotation is going to come from. The hands has a side to side twist, and obviously it's a peg, so you can move it around like so. The abdomen, waist over the abdomen right here, articulation can go like so, and can have a bend of that much and a bend back very, very little, but it does afford you a little bit of a rock, so that's good. Does not have a waist cut or a waist articulation. I already showed you the movement of the legs, so it goes up that much, goes back that much, and because of this style of articulation, it goes back that much, but it breaks it up quite a bit. Again, single jointed on the knee, but it does have that twist, so if you want to use that and utilize that. The ankle goes up that much, goes back that much, so that's good for flying, and it does have a ankle pivot. Okay, it has that hole over here for the base. Now for accessories, I mentioned that the head currently attached is the Johnny Storm version of the Human Torch, because this one, the one without any kind of features on the face, this is the original Human Torch before he became a part. Well, let me rephrase that. This was the original Human Torch that was a robot or an android designed in World War II. So there was a Human Torch before Johnny Storm that was not part of the Fantastic Four, but part of the Invaders, if I recall correctly. The figure comes with 4 extra hands, 2 fisted ones, and look at this fire effect. And this fire effect, look at that. That's just amazing. And then this one, look at that. Let me put this on the figure to show you how this thing goes. So I've got the hands kind of like splayed like this, so it's really cool. Like this accessory just has a lot of movement just sculpted in there. And then this one with a fireball, like he's ready to throw it like that in the back, or you can have him, like depending on the pose, you can have him like completely throwing it in front. This is the way you do a proper accessory. You know, it's specific to the character and you don't feel like you're being cheated because it's a reuse of everything. So in order to change him up, just pull out the emblem over here. there's a small piece that's also included to replace that emblem right on his chest, and then you pull off the head. And put the original one in, and basically you have the Invader's version of the Human Torch. Now, even though this guy came in many years ago, can you believe all this stuff came in at $29 compared to what we're getting now? Like, this base alone is just amazing, amazing. So, I can't remember who came first. I believe Mr. Fantastic came before Invisible Woman. So for one thing, he comes in with this base to replace his lower torso if you want to. He also comes with an elongated midriff torso. He comes with these two hands. They're not bendable, or as we know it, they're just like regular hands. And then he comes with these other hands, kind of like a stretching out hand. This one's to stretch out his neck, and the device that he used to defeat Galactus, I believe. Here's a portrait for Mr. Fantastic, and that is quite good. Yes, I resisted the pun. That's really good. It's not the same, it's not like photo printing as we know from Hasbro, but it's still really a nice job done on this one. It's almost like it's coming out of the comics in a more detailed manner. You know. And here's his chest. Very classic, traditional Fantastic Four uniform. Very simple design, but that's what I wanted in my Fantastic Four. Very simple. Nothing too fancy, nothing modernized. That's how I wanted it. And here's the figure complete. Let's see the articulation. It's kind of stiff on mine. Move up only by that much on the head. A lot more on the down. That's because of the hair sculpt. That much tilt, and obviously an all around. The shoulder articulation, not quite completely of a T pose, but it's almost there. Now they're incorporating the bicep cut with this figure. He still has a single jointed elbow, but honestly, with Marvel Select, I don't usually associate them with extreme articulation. That's what Hasbro Marvel Legends is for. This is more on looks and style. He does have a cut on the gloves to have it rotate. Also rotation on the wrist, and an in and out movement on the hand. Okay. The torso with the midriff has that much movement side to side. Not a lot of bend forward, slightly bend backward. A waist cut on the waist articulation that just goes side to side. There's no drop down on the waist. He can kick up that much. There is a thigh cut that allows you movement side to side. Another single jointed on the knee that does not give you a full 90. It does have a cut on the knee to allow you to move, but you can't even perform sitting down with a cross-legged. position. There's no cut in the boot. The ankle can go high that much and can go that much down, and he does have an ankle swivel. But where this thing really excels is when you start mixing up the accessories. So let's try and do that. This is the first time I'm doing it. And there is Mr. Fantastic, completely elongated to the extreme that he can be. So that's pretty cool. You definitely will not see this with Marvel Legends, so it's kind of a shame. But definitely all the accessories you could possibly need to associate with Mr. Fantastic. Um, Obviously, he can perform other various shapes, but I feel this basically shows off what he can do as a character. So let's start with Invisible Woman in her basic form. Obviously, with the hair behind her as solid plastic, you really can't have any kind of movement up for her head. Has a little bit of a down. I doubt you'll be able to move anything side to side. You can rotate it. You can rotate it, but it kind of looks off for me. So this is basically as static as it can be. I also, unfortunately, because of the hair, you will have some sort of limitation on the head. I mean, the shoulder movement. It can do a better T-pose than the rest of the guys, but obviously moving it like so, moving it like that, the head moves too much. So your pose will be limited by the fact that there's a big honking hair over there. So maybe for her, I would have preferred maybe a secondary hair sculpt that you can just maybe pull out and then put it back in. She does have the bicep cut, single jointed elbow, rotation on the wrist. It does have a side to side movement on each of the hands. The torso cut is much better movement side to side and all that stuff. Back and forth again is limited. I don't know what's causing that. It has better range back, but nothing in the front. Nothing in the front at all. The cut on the waist, I don't know if that's just a trick of the eye, but it seems like it's slightly slanted. But you can use it, but of course it's gonna cut a lot of the style. It's gonna cut the sculpture a little bit, so that might be uh, a little bit too much for your perception. But but it's there if you want to use it. But you can twist it a little bit and then maybe accomplish the rest with her upper torso. Again, there's no drop down for the legs. She moves about that much. She does have a thigh cut that is incorporated with the replacement of her legs. It's very tight. She has a single joint on her knee. There's no boot cut. Up for her ankles like that, down for that much, and she does have ankle rotation. So her articulation is very similar to Mr. Fantastic. I will say this, if you're replacing the legs or the hands, be very careful, especially in the hands. I would brace it, holding it like this, and then when you're twisting it, because you don't want to be twisting it to the point where you might pull off or damage the elbow articulation. Let's see. So she comes with the shield, invisible shield with the hand attached to it. There's no articulation on that peg. She comes with replacement legs that are cast in translucent plastic and then painted on the top. I want to point out that the paint they use in this one is really well done. It matches the paint that they used on the rest of the body quite well. Of all the figures of the Fantastic, she comes with the most sets of hands. She has this, gripping something slightly, a closed-fisted hand, slightly open, as stretched out, delicately poised. These are the replacement hands and wrists that are cast in translucent plastic. More hands. These are basically the same hands as the painted one, but just cast in translucent plastic. So holding something and all that stuff. And finally, she comes with this bold thing. Oh, so this is what she's holding then. So let's replace a few things. I forgot that she does come with this base. This is just amazing, amazing sets of accessories. And then the pole that connects to the back of the figure connects to the base. And just like that, you have a very, very awesomely posed invisible woman. I'm like, I don't know, $30, you just can't beat that. I mean, like, I'm not very good with posing figures, but when you have accessories like these, it's the figures pose themselves. You know what I mean? It's very well done. So there they are. Marvel selects the Fantastic Four with their friend Captain America and the new friend Superman. All 7 inches of them. So that's nice. Yeah, I don't exactly know where in my collection this will fit. Probably along my McFarlane stuff, which is 7 inches, but it'll be a unique display for sure to have DC and Marvel set up in this manner. So that's it for my review. It's up to you guys if you want to go into the Marvel Select collection line. It's definitely gonna be a wait to finish off teams with this company, but for $29 for what you're getting, at least for the more recent figures, it's definitely worth it in my opinion, for what you're getting for the price that you're paying. Um, and of course, you know, it will line up quite well with your DC McFarlane figures, just to tickle that fancy of having your DC and Marvel united, and the design is close enough um, that, from afar it looks like it's cohesive. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very short review of the Fantastic Four set from Marvel Select. A well worth it line, or a very well worth it team to finish off with Marvel Select. Have a nice day. Goodbye.